Hello, a collection of short stories, an enthralling and consuming imagination. The first story, Petals and Wings, by Aya Stone. Flurry of wind stole my hot dog, taking its childish fury over the balcony, falling down below the clouds. Maybe a bird will catch it, says my mind comforting the child on the verge of a tantrum. I look over the edge of the airship I'm standing on, its worn hull showing his age. The puff of cloud tickled the hairs on my face, drawing my attention to its family. The small workers are low and scattered, but cover the stretches of land even I can't see. The colossal giants that tower far and wide in clusters of medium height snuff the light of the sun, and the wispy comb of fluff that extends far above our airship floats in suspense, had the awe of a John Constable painting. My hot dog might have struck the ground about now, the tube of red, splitting and splintering into halves and chunks as it collects on the grass. Unless it's a pond or pool of water, something that cushions its shape but shreds the casing, a fortunate spoil for lucky fish. Puff of wind sticks here to my lips. A hand pulls it away, but not mine. I turn to see Bridget, muscles sport her sides, pulling the holes in her sleeves. My eyes light up. Really should wear a hat while you're out here. I've seen people choke on their hair before. Cuss word words rumble in her chest. Smile takes root in my cheeks. If you buy a hat in my style, I'll wear it. Your style? Her eyes run me up and down. I might as well give up. She says that knowing full well that the tattered jeans and greasy aviator jacket she's wearing won't win her any praise. I sure laugh with a played up pout. I lost my hot dog. How? My somber stare outside the railing says it all. Her failing attempt at stifling a laugh grabbed my attention. I roll my eyes. A permission given to laugh uncontrollably. I wander back to my tasty lost love, frat on my grass and probing some dumb fish's fat mouth. Her laughter pulled back, letting her choke out sympathy about a promised replacement, pathetic and sad. My mind is made up. Attention was deserved and fully warranted. I fake a sniffle. Oh, come on now, don't be like that, she said with a sigh. I keep them rolling till she breaks. Okay, how about something better like, I hold the act, keeping silent. Pizza, the ones that come out of those stone ovens. I break my silence to seal the deal. Like how we do at Alcaster's? Yes, Alcaster's is fine. My heels spin on the oak floors thanks to the morning dew and launch into her arms. My lips meet hers, embracing as the wind caresses the prickles on her skin. Her cheeks carry the glow of the sunrise even under the overcast clouds. The creaking of the wood riled the metal plates. Bridget pulled away. Ugh, he really doesn't have many years left in him. Her hand coaxed the railing. A somber look tinted her eyes. Well, he's 26 years old after all. Airships last for how long again? Fought a complete overhaul of the engine? 20. 30 if he's well taken care of. Then he still has 4 years. She laughed. The way me and my dad flew him, not a chance. The hull may be intact, but the waterproof coating isn't sticking to him anymore. Storms are starting to leak through the baseboards. The keel isn't keeping hot air like it should. She gets it towards the sails, and the main mast is starting to lean. At this point, it will need to be entirely replaced and reborn into the keel, which also will need to be resealed. And I don't even want to talk about our engine and thrusters. There's only so much welding and high-altitude glue can do. And all that means, my fish eyes glaze at her, means to fix one problem this ship, we'll have to gut the whole thing. And that's just money we don't have. A phantom smile rests on her lips. Is there any place you wanted to visit? I look out towards the horizon, waiting for a dream sea to build from the mirage. I'll give you some time to think about it. She kissed my cheek and vanished. A new sky developed. A faint blue clear of character letting the sun take center stage. Sitting in my refurbished lawn chair, I flipped through a fashion magazine from a continent over. The sun's a broken beam shot off the deck and into my eyes. I cursed myself, knowing I was too lazy to move into the shade. The deck on the outside was limited, sparing space for a set of bedrooms, an engine bay, and a full kitchen. The wall, belonging to the kitchen, pushed me out like an unruly neighbor towards the fenced balcony, my feet capable of using it as a breezy footrest. I was about to get to the summer heat collection when the engine gurgled. I put the magazine down, then he started grinding and spitting, causing the ship to stutter. My heartbeat soared, sending me right into an empty cockpit, then to the engine bay. Even with the bay windows open, the small room was suffocating black smoke sourced from the engine room. Bridget, you there? My eyes began to water. Charlotte, outside the room are shutters. Open them. Hands traced the wall beside me before finding a shallow divot amongst a group of panels. I dig in the tips of my fingers, filling in the space, and used the strength of my feet to pry it open. It held at first before breaking, then was a hungry smoke that swallowed my eyes and nose. I fell to the floor, coughing and wheezing as my body pulled into itself, my lungs twisting to wring out the soot. my eyes pouring tears from the pain. Charlotte, you okay? I tried to speak, but found my voice hostage. One more second, I'll be there, okay? Why won't this damn thing work? There's a swift couple of loud bangs, the sound of metal buying metal wore thin, before going quiet. Okay, I'm coming. Bridget came to my side and started to rub my back. Her fingers coaxed my muscles, drips of concern soothed the burning feeling. My body started to feel cool. My coughing slowed, my body unsprung into her arms. Her warm embrace lifted me up from the floor and took me away to the front of the ship. You'll be okay, she said it loud enough for me to hear, but it clearly wasn't meant for me. She ran to the bedroom and put me down on the bed. I laughed. We don't have time for this, babe. She laughed. Don't test me. She started for the door. No, don't stay here. I gotta land the ship. I'll be right back. She rushed out the room and vanished off like a prince from a fairy tale. Soot settled around her stomach, bringing nausea to her lips. God, don't throw up. She won't kiss me if I do. I shook at the thought of being a barfy sleepy beauty before rushing back to the sorry state I'm in. Only a few more minutes till we land, I whined. The landing was rough and jerky, scaring the breakfast in my stomach. Defying the urge to splurge, Bridget came into the room, glistening light, filling the catcher. Here, drink this. She hands me a bottle of nausea suppressant. I drink in sips, letting it coat my throat and sink into my stomach. After the bottle's finished, I felt good enough to stand and give her a hug. Thank you, Bumblebee. She squeezes my waist, pulling me in closer, and the smell of oil and soot waft. Anytime, Blossom. I get to embrace before my stomach begins to rise. How come you're not coughing your guts out too? She tugged at the bandana that was wrapped around her neck. A flicker of soot fell to the floor. I shouldn't have made you. Don't start. I love to help. Don't you dare look down on me like that. She nodded. You're right. I'm sorry. I just hate seeing you get hurt because of this stupid airship. He's not stupid. He's old and charming. He's going to get us killed one day. I should just sell it. If I was smart, I would have sold it years ago. Don't you dare talk about selling our baby. If we scrap it for parts, we can go on a vacation. Spend time walking on the cliffside, drinking wine, eating new foods. A proper vacation instead of what we're doing now. Drifting from city to city. We won't go anywhere if it is on this beautiful hunk of junk. Plus, I love our casual vacation thing we have going on. She sighed, knowing our battle was nearing its repetitive end. We deserve a proper vacation, and we could take a communal airship. They're out to date and certainly a lot safer. I huffed. How about your father? He must be turning in his grave right now. This airship means a lot to you, so it means a lot to me. We will make it work. We always do. She stepped back, taking the warm room we spent timeless nights in. Her eyes taking the photos from of us in Greece, America, France, Persia, and countless other different places. Our smiles the only thing staying the same. The smell of oak sleeping on the slight hint of lavender from a neglected flower pot settles on a thin layer of dust. She held that smell in before letting it out as a long sigh. We always do. She made that smile again. The woman melted me in a pool of bliss. I love you. Our eyes were locked. I love you too. She leaned in and kissed me, making our spinning world stop to rest. Let's get to the doctor and make sure we're right. I extended my hand, and after collecting our essentials bag, we left the airship. Our feet just touched the steel platform of the docking bay when a voice called out, Hello, welcome to Orgedian. Seems your ship is worse for wear. A short man whose aged wrinkles reminded me of overlapping sand dunes spoke to us with a caring face. I tried to give an energetic greeting to the kind man, but ended up coughing out soot. Oh, it seems she's even worse. He slipped out a nervous laugh as his wrinkles shifted into a worrying expression. There's a doctor she can see down the road there. I wouldn't mind showing you the way if you like, he said, clicking his cane off the platform. No, thank you, Charlotte. Let's go. We'll see the mechanic after. Oh, okay then. I hope you have a nice day, said the man, growing ever smaller as Bridget rushed me through the city entrance. Stone streets clicked on my heels, echoed between the cement walls. The docking bay led to an entrance hall, shallow and deserted, traces of cobwebs catching the rogue rays of light. Her eyes stay focused on the turn up ahead. The sound of city life began to reverberate the air. She peels around the corner and flings open a door, rushing in while I float behind. A startled nurse gets overtaken by my Bridget. This is Charlotte. She took a lot of engine smoke, has been feeling nauseous, and she's been coughing up a lot, very harsh ones too. Oh, okay. I'll go get the doctor. He gets up and walks to the back room. She takes to me in a nearby chair and she stands, circling the palm of my hand with her fingers. I'm going to be okay. My throat burns me, forcing a nasally cough. She sits next to me, resting her head against my shoulder. The room house wasn't just vacant of other patients, but dust as well. Every detail of decoration remained tidy and clean, except for the black footprints leading from the door to our seats. Oh, Bridget. So, Orgedian, I say in a hushed voice, was the closest city, I promise, but I did have plans to bring us here. Plans? I clear my throat. Routine maintenance, but it looks like we'll be staying here a little longer. The doctor will see you now. Bridget jumps up and takes it to the back room before the nurse butts in. I'm sorry, there isn't enough room for you to come back with her. I'll need you to sit out here. If that's the case, I'll go check in the airship. I nod, and as a reward, she places a kiss on my head before walking off. See you soon, my bumblebee. You ready to come back now? I nod again. Room looks sterile. Paintings mostly of cats and other small animals looked perfectly level, like as if a scalpel was used to carve them onto the wall. The doctor was a tall, slender woman, with her blonde hair pinned back by a pink flower hairpin. Very cute. You can call me Dr. Roselia. Take a seat. A flashy smile followed. The chair was uncomfortable. A torn hole of leather hemorrhaged yellow-stained fluff. As I plopped down, the stuffing poured out. My hand plugged the hole in a panic to stop the bleeding. Don't worry about that. We're here to fix you, she chuckled. Closing the gap, she examined my body with a flitter of curiosity in her eyes. So I've been told you're here because you inhaled a lot of smoke that made you ill, nausea, headache, and coughing? I nod, stifling another nasty cough. Your throat must be in too much pain to even talk. She cupped her ear to my chest. Take a couple deep breaths for me. Doctor, we talked about this. You have to use the doctor cut him off, shushing him before placing her head closer to my chest. My breath went high, but I did as I was told, the sounds of my breath filling my head. Okay, that's great. No major issues, she said with a fainting smile, her eyes dulled, almost bored. My eyes pushed her for more information. It's nothing serious. Your breathing has minor congestion, but that's what we want from taking a lot of foreign material. It'll clear naturally on its own, she said, checking her nails. She ran her fingers along the table beside her. Big and drumpy as she thought to herself. Have you had a checkup recently? I mulled over for a moment before shaking my head. Okay, well, let's get that done and out of the way, yeah? To start off, can you paint this cup? Fill up to about here. You can use that bathroom over there. Why didn't I just lie? I take the cup and head into the coldest bathroom in the continent. After a brutal, quiet couple of minutes, I come back with a filled cup, sling it down a paper towel. It's warm, sticking to my hand. Drink it. I drain the image from my mind and take a seat. Thank you, nurse. She gets it towards the cup. The nurse gave me a quick nod, fetched a paper strip from the cabinet. She prods her fingers in shallow divots against different spots in my stomach. Unusual pains or discomfort when I push. No. Okay, that's all good. She took a flashlight from her pocket and started beaming it into my eyes. All good here, too. On the side table, she grabbed her rubber mallet. She tapped each knee, causing them to shoot out. Yep, that's all good. She rested the hammer. Are you sexually active? I nod. All safe, nothing crazy or fun? Scrunch my face. Against her brash tone, not again. Lame. Doctor, the test came back positive. She jumped at the nurse's side, looking closely at the strip. Finally, well, that's going to be a pretty big surprise for her, she said in a hushed voice to nurse. Big surprise. With child's glee, as she dug for in our cabinet. She hands up to nurse, and together they shot little streamers at me. You're pregnant, they both chimed, as ribbons of color streamed across my face. The mouth agape caught a rogue ribbon. I shudder. Rewinding the last words, I played back for the 10th time. I pulled the streamer from my mouth. I'm pregnant, I said, throwing myself into a coughing fit. But how? We weren't trying for a baby. I choked out the razor blades floating in my throat. My nurse rushed to my side. Don't talk too much. You have to rest your lungs. I think she's confused because her only part at race has been Bridget. Oh, the doctor said, seeming relieved I wasn't stupid. It might be rare for two women to get pregnant, but it isn't impossible. I've seen a couple cases like yours before. Quite the interesting phenomenon, she said, nodding and smiling to herself. Is she bragging? Other good news, your urine has come back clean, the nurse said, trying to block her gloat fest. You're a very healthy young woman, so there should be no worries about your baby. But keep an eye on any new symptoms. Remember, always come back here for another checkup, or for your pregnancy, she said with a gleam in her eye. Fear instinctively shook my head. She shrugged. Well, thank you for coming in today. I have an appointment coming in a bit, so I'll have the nurse take you to the front desk. We shared a wave goodbye before I left the room with the nurse. I know your partner has a bill covered. Shame though what happened to her airship. Still one of the oldest ones I've ever seen. I nod, yeah. I prepped my voice. It's beautiful up there. It was hush, but no cough. Well, don't let me stop your recovery. Have a great day. You too, I said, walking to a stream of fresh mountain air, a spirit of pine and oak possessing me into another coughing fit. End of part 1. A fountain nearby served as my seat for the theater of Orgedian daily life. Its cobble streets formed of various stones bridged together with cement, chimney-topped houses stacked upon dark oak walls, shops hung under cloth canopies in groups, gardens of sale sharing familiar tastes with another. The clothes were loose on the top, the bombs that clung to the waist and legs. A handful of smiling faces can be seen bright and cheerful, the posture open with expressive hand movements. What a beautiful place to raise a family. My consciousness kicks back in, shaking the baby fear from my mind. Fear brooding in my stomach, I coughed some more soot out. We never talked about kids before. It's all way too sudden. I have to tell her. I will tell her. She's been everything to me for the last 3 years. I could tell her anything. Why am I so scared? I can feel the tide pulling away. So watch a sea of people flow through a common day. Bridget's charming smile revealed itself in the crowd. Hey, Blossom, how'd the doctor's appointment go? Anything I need to be worried about? I blinked for a second before replying. No. The doctor says I'm all good. No, I have to tell the whole truth now. I'm glad to hear it, babe. Want to get something to eat and drink? I'm starving. Yeah, how's he doing? Nothing too broken? Bridget cast her eyes to the side for a moment. For me, mine again. Let's get you some food first before I tell you. A smile barely hanging on her face. After a long afternoon walk, a bar and grill patio lapped in the smell of fried fish became a resting spot. Lively vines spread over a roof with slotted square holes only let in the most heavenly of light through. I sat across from her with a cold lemonade while she enjoyed a sparkling rosé wine. Not drinking today? Oh no, I shouldn't. Not today anyway. Calm down or you'll be too scared to tell her. I ran my fingers along the table. My eyes looking around for the patio for a deep conversation starter. Bridget took a long sip of her wine before setting it down. The clink of the glass on the clear table sent me a shiver that raised my eyes to hers. She sighed. Charlotte, is there something you're not telling me? Is now a bad time, or a worried waiter said, his feet pointed away. No, I'm ready right now. I glanced at the food menu for the first time, spotting the pancake special. Pancakes, please. Oh, miss, that special's only on the weekends, I'm afraid. Oh, I'm sorry, I sputter out. We may need a couple more minutes if that's okay, said Bridget, coming to my rescue. Of course, I'll be back after I make my rounds. Our special today, by the way, is a fried fish and chips. The waiter walked off, putting me in the hot seat. Charlotte, can we talk now? I'm worried. I'm worried too. After all, how do I know if by chips you mean potato chips or French fries? Blossom, her face escalated from worried to distraught. I try to cast my eyes to anything else, but the look is burnt way deep into my mind. Bridget, she nodded, the outside world a blur to her. Right now it's only me. I sigh. As can wait for our waiter to come by, I gotta say right now, I have an STI. I'm the world's biggest coward. Oh, that's all? Blossom, that's okay. We'll work through this. Is there any medication you need? Do you need to take shots? I know you're scared of needles, so I'll do it for you. Don't worry, it's not too serious. We'll just have to check in with my doctor when we get back. Speaking of which, what were you going to say about the airship? The airship? Yeah, the engine is severely blocked with coal residue. We mean to get it cleared out soon, but it seems like way too long because the intake cracked. You know how important the intake is, right? I shook my head. But keep going. It's hot when you talk old mechanic. Her eyes lit up. Okay, well, the intake is what brings air into the engine, which then gets mixed with fuel and gives it power. And well, with it cracked, it can't do its job to power the engine. I nod. Okay. Well, this intake is deep in the engine, so the only way to fix is to take it all out. The whole engine? The whole engine. It's going to take a while before he's airborne again. A long while? 6 hours if you're lucky. It's my turn to take a long sip. So what's the plan? Well, I got the mechanic do me a favor, so we got to do a favor for him. What kind of favor? She gave a sheepish chuckle. Remember how you love long walks? My squint. No, it's not coming to memory. Well, we gotta carry some gunpowder up the mountain for the firework display tonight. My face shut completely. Bumblebee. I'm going to carry the gunpowder, but I want you to come with. Her eyes swapped with that of an orphaned puppy waiting in the rain. Her lips quivering. Not fair, she's too cute. A defeated sigh escaped my lips. Okay, I'll come with you. Thank you. Better eat up so we have the energy for the climb. I don't even bother looking at the menu. Are we ladies ready with the order? The fish special, we both say in unison. Great choice. Okay, I'll have that for you in just a bit. Ready, Blossom? I slump, as ready as I'll ever be. Path ahead was the essence of all natural. Steps were plagued with carved rocks, jutting out like a dragon's scale. Grass populated every step, hiding holes and divots. Slabs of logs spaced out in steeper climbs soaked with slippery dew, and off in the distance a fence slouched drunk, protecting path goers from a sheer drop below. What a nightmare. Doesn't this look fun? Pleaded with enthusiasm with her words. I didn't chime in. Hey, Blossom, she took my head in her hands, connect. This will be tough, but the view of the fireworks from there will be worth it all, I promise. She kissed my forehead, then tilted down to my lips, where it sprouted into something far more passionate. Her lips gripped my lower back, the heat and pressure from her strength swirled under my skin before soaring to my cheeks. Flurry of fusion that brought the breath of our lungs in flight, fluttering together. I could taste the ocean where the fish special was born. She pulled away, my clammy hands trying to pull her back, but she rested her finger on my lips, placing yet another gentle kiss on my forehead. When we get to the top, we can continue. A smirk hanging from a cherry smile. Not fair. I take out Switch's hand and we start out our journey up the mountain, feeling lighter than air. A stacking weight fell on my calves and shoulders every step we conquered. My tightly pressed backpack that would shift to one side if I leaned too far to the left was the culprit. I Completing that she had the host of the baggage, a large striker's bag rocked on her shoulders, with 2 large sacks dangling above her knees. Bridget was taking the lead, looking back every once in a while to make sure I haven't sneaked in a secret break again. Up ahead had to be a 100 right-hand curve, but this time with no guardrail in sight. She stopped and looked back at me, the late evening sun resting on her shoulders, setting her hair ablaze in an amber glow. "You're an angel, you know that?" I said, before even knowing the words that were spilling out. She smiled from eye to eye as the sun's embers played on her cheeks. "I love you so much, Blossom. I love you too, Bumblebee." More words blinding me came pouring out. "You want to have kids?" Her brain fumbled out immediately, putting myself in a shock. "If we get married, of course, or even not, but you know, in the future?" I twisted my foot into the dirt, hoping the earth would open up and swallow me whole. Her look wasn't startled. Instead, she was overtaken by analytical gleam. I could just tell that every facet that question asked was bouncing around her head, but her silence was killing me slowly like a worm in the sun. She opened her mouth. "I don't know, there's a lot to consider. Kids are a lot of responsibility." She went back to rummaging in her mind space. "Oh, of course, I know we haven't talked about before. I said I'd bring it up, just so the question's out there. I don't need an answer right away, but, just so it's out there." Accompanying my mindless ramble with a shrug. Maybe I should just throw myself off the cliffside while I still have the chance. "Do you want to have kids?" "Yeah, it isn't a big deal breaker for me, but having kids would be nice." I know I should have brought it up earlier, but I guess I got into the loop of later always being better. "Well, you're bringing it up now. Or we're climbing up a mountain." Her eyes were scanning through me yet again. "Bridget," I wait for her eyes to find mine. "I'm pregnant." Shock pulled at her as pregnant. "Wait, really? I'm sorry, I didn't tell you." My eyes were dying for a hole to dive in. I just couldn't bear to look at her. I just found the click today. I don't know, it just came so fast, like I'm happy and scared, and I took a breath. And I don't know what to say or do. I know I should have said something sooner, but I felt like now was the right time. And what if it was a false positive? A hug pulled me back to earth. She lifted her head away from my chest. Face to face, that look of joy crippled my panic. "That's why you've been acting so secretive?" I nod. My words still haven't joined me on the ground yet. "I'm so glad. I was starting to think that maybe you're losing interest in me because of everything with the airship." Her words came back, crashing down. "I never lose interest in you, Bridget. My little Bumblebee, always and forever, and I don't care if we never go on another adventure again. None of them would be worth it without you." Her eyes began to swell. "Oh, Charlotte, I love you too, my little blossom." We leaned in and kissed until our burning happiness cooled. "Is you okay with having kids?" I said, cuddling in her arms. If it was up to me, I would have fought it over and over till I was crawling in my grave. And now I truly know how happy it would make me to start a family with you. And our kiss pulled our tears together. The setting rays of the sunset, a dance floor for us to sway in each other's arms. "We have some time. Let's stay here for a moment." Like sunflowers, we grew roots that intertwined deep into the earth and danced as the sun shimmered above the horizon. A lantern cast shadows over our path. Hand in hand, we bob and weave over the uneven terrain. "Just make sure to stay close, okay? Just because I have a baby in me doesn't mean I am one." I know I should have brought the bigger lantern. Hot air exhaled from her nose. She's trying its best. "Maybe shake it?" She flung it in place. The sound of loose metal bits smacking rung from within before the light extinguished. Now only the moon's whispering glow traced her surroundings. She took back her hand, filling the night with the sound of creaking metal. After a gasp of light, the lantern came back to life, illuminating her sour face. She grabbed my hand once again. "Let's keep going. There should be some light and shelter at the top." We kept trotting higher up the mountain. My feet gained confidence. I looked towards the moon being tugged in by a cloud. Its transparent fluff gave it a soft blush. I took another step and felt my left ankle scoop to the floor. My right foot lunged as my bag dragged me to the left. I clenched Bridget's hand tighter, my only anchor. As my left hand fades for the ground that I prayed would have been there. A waist slammed to the dirt, sending pain that caused my hand to rip from hers. Images of the ground charging on me flashed in my mind as I felt gravity pull me above the darkness. "Bridget!" The cold wind whipped my face as my bag toppled over me. I felt weightless until suddenly my bag stopped, leaving me dangling above a whistling void. I have you," she said as panic strangled her voice. A small item from my bag bounced off the back of my head and flurried unseen to the void. I winced from the shock, hoping nothing larger falls out too. With a huff, Bridget yanked me back onto solid ground. "Bridget!" My hands waved for the darkness before finding her. She pulled me in and embraced me, that sweet smell of oil and soot soothing my racing heart. "You okay?" Yeah, something did hit my head though." She ran her fingers through my hair. "You okay? No bruises?" I nod, pushing closer against her. Moments passed and my panicked breathing was stilled. She went for my bag, trying to figure out what was lost. After a while, she was silent. "So what did I lose? Haha." I attempt to laugh. She turns to me. "Nothing important. I'm just glad you're safe." She closed the bag, stood up, and kissed me gently. "Ready to keep going?" "Only if you never let me go." "That won't be hard." We share a giggle before getting up. "Where's the lantern?" "I don't know. I tossed it over there and I think I broke it." All right, looks like the moon is going to need to pick up the slack. We'll take it step by step. Under a clear moon, Bridget kneeled down and picked up a long stick. Handy, she said gleefully. The stick and the moon became our pair of eyes as we walked up the mountain, our body heat sealing us together. In the distance, a cabin wrapped in warm glow appeared from above us. A mix of light from the moon and the cabin lit a path far ahead of us. Once our feet graced that path, we ran to the door hand in hand. She gave a hearty knock, and before Hank could return to her side, the door swung open, revealing an old man whose beard swept the floor. By his beady brown eyes, I could see a stereotypical cabin room laid out of animal furs and wooden knickknacks. The heat from a fire blew its breath on our faces. When his mouth finally opened to greet us, I thought for sure I saw a bit of dust puff out his cracked lips. "You're late. Is that the gunpowder bag? Give it." His hands, fingers outstretched, start to reach for the bag, still holstered on my back. "Hey, stop. I have it right here, all of it." She dropped her bag and the sacks at her waist and plopped in front of him. With a squint in his eyes like a cut stone, he pounced on the bag, opening it up. "See, it's all there." He dived his head in the bag and sniffed it with a rattle in his lungs. If he take his head out, he pinched a bit of the powder and tasted it. His eyes closed shut with bliss as he smacked his lips. Without a word, he grabbed the bags by their necks, started dragging them inside. "We're going to stay over there to watch the fireworks, if I have you." "Yeah, I don't care," he said while slamming the door shut. I looked at her, and after a feeling moment of anger, we both started laughing. "Come on, let's take our seat." "Wait, so what's in my bag?" Her mischievous glee took hold of me. "You'll see." Outside the reach of the cabin's light, but perfectly beneath the moon, was a flat patch of grass set with a thick cloth blanket that she had in my bag. The sky in front of us was a clear screen untouched by the prying fingers of branches. Clouds far above the mountains swirled and danced, slow and steady, as if mirroring us from before. Over the cliffside, Orgedian could be seen its glory, sitting inside the vast mouth of two sister mountains. The train connecting the elevated city to the ground was running nonstop, bringing in more and more people for the firework festival. Off in the distance, our airship slept shrouded in the yellow glow of the docking lamps. The city was ablaze in sparks of color and flashes of light as people cheered, danced, and drank to the hopeful future of a new year. The sound of joyful music whistled up the mountainside to where we were sitting, bringing a private rendition just for the two of us. I looked to Bridget and memorized every detail and that warming glow of bliss on her face. "The view is amazing," I said. "Yeah, I used to come here a lot, but this is the first time I brought anyone else." I gasped. "Bumblebee, ah!" She started to blush before turning back to the night sky freckled with stars. It's Sister Moon, beaming in the corner, watching them dance. I'd come here whenever I didn't feel right, whenever the world felt wrong. In this spot, she patted the ground beside her. Everything felt beneath me, like I can't and will overcome it all. She looked at me, making sure I wasn't lost. "The old man back there, his name is Kramer. Lost his son about 11 years ago. He says that he's always bitter and hateful of the world and everyone around him, but that isn't entirely the case. I've seen him tending his garden, baking, and reading on his front porch. His life is filled with little joys. He just hates people getting in the way of it, especially when it comes to his fireworks. Because every year with his son, he has a special place for the urn right beside him." "Well, that's very sweet. You can still at least say hello or thank you to us for climbing up this stupid mountain." She laughed. "That's definitely true." Her eyes fixed on me, grabbing all my attention. "I've had plenty of people share my ship, my stories, my bed." She gave me a wink. "Stop." I covered a bashful smile and gave her a playful shove. "But I've never shared this place with anyone. This place on earth has never felt so close to who I am." She pulled her hand to her chest, letting it linger. I placed my hand in hers, our fingers interlocking. "And seeing here just feels right. Thank you for everything, Charlotte." Tears hung into my eyes. "You don't have to thank me. I love being with you. You make me so happy I want to scream sometimes." "Sometimes," she said, giggling. "I just feel like the world moves slower when I'm with you. Like each moment is something worth remembering. Even when we're sitting on the couch watching TV and eating, especially when we're doing that. Those are my three favorite things. 3, TV, food, and you. It's like someone needs to learn how to count," I said, branching a smug. "Nah, let's leave that up to our kid. They could go to college and make enough money to support us." "Yeah, and what if they're stupid? Not a chance of your smart genes. By the way, you still have the bag near you?" "Oh yeah, right here." I slapped the bag resting on my side. I could feel there's still more in there. She pulls onto her lap and starts digging through the leather. The sound raising my excitement. "Oh, what'd you bring?" I switched to sitting on my knees, ready to receive the rewards of her well-thought-out plan. On top of our thick cloth sheet was a bottle of light red wine, a straw basket dolled up with a red bow, and a couple candles. It was a picnic date. "Wow, trying to give wine to a pregnant woman, I see." "Oh, shush. We got a drink in here that you'll like." She pulled out a fruit punch kept in a thin glass bottle. "Oh my God, where'd you get those?" Our second to last stop, the place with the really weird hotel. I picked some up. "How much?" A smile brightened her face. "A crate or two." Jumping on her, we tossed against each other in a sea of crumpled cloth. Then a gust of air as a firework shot above Orgedian, its tail of gunpowder crinkling as it descended. We sat for a moment watching the fireworks explode over the city. After a while, we could hear Kramer yell off far behind us. Where in the hell did I leave the rest of the gunpowder? I jumped from the commotion, but Bridget's hand squeezed the calm back into me. In a moment's silence, she spoke rather hesitantly. You know that airship's going to break one day or another. And when it does it, I can't take you anywhere. I buttoned. I told you already that what I care about is being with you. I'm not going anywhere. I rubbed my belly, especially now. She smiled, her eyes easing into themselves. Thank you for telling me that again, Blossom, but you still haven't told me where you wanted to go. I looked out towards the horizon again, looking for that dream city to build itself from the mirage of glistening city lights. I turned to her, baiting those adorable, anticipating eyes to come out. Alcasters, this mountain climb has made me hungry. Blossom, where seriously? She said as we laughed. I kept my smile. I don't know. Whatever one takes us is fine. Alcasters then, she said, planting a kiss on my lips. We married each other until another rush of air beckoned out. A bee and a flower, swaying in the breeze as the night sky paraded with color. Petals and Wings by I.S. Stone.